Hey folks, so if you have been on internet the last days, months, maybe year, you might have seen that we have been automated. So in this talk, I'm going to try to find what you should do in 2026, and maybe if you should consider a career change. So we're going to see this. But first, yeah, I'm Christophe. I've been doing software engineering my whole life. I've been doing data engineering professionally for 10 years. Then I've been doing content creation in the parallel track. And 1 year ago, I co-founded Nao. Nao is the best way to work on data with AI. It's AI code editor. We have a booth there. We're going to do demos. So if you want to come at the coffee break or at any time, you could see Claire and the team doing demos. But there is like a bold statement, and when I say bold, it's in bold. So we have been automated. Some people have been claiming that it's coming. Anthropic CEO said AI will be writing 90% of code in 3 to 6 months in March. Microsoft CTO said 95%, 5% more. They are better at Microsoft. And Duolingo, Klarna, and all these CEOs, tech CEOs said that stuff has been automated and they're going to replace people. Then, in October, Anthropic CEO said 90% of the code is written by AI, but it's not replacing engineers yet. On the other side, Sam Altman said AI is ready for entry-level job. We had a question on the Joe talk about like the entry-level job engineers. Anthropic CEO said that this AI race could eliminate half of the entry-level jobs and spike unemployment as much as 20% in the 1 to 5 years. I'm sorry for this news, but this is what they say. And when we look at the numbers, the hiring rate trend for entry-level jobs, in data, it has been down 60% year on year, and in engineering, 70% year on year. This is not good news, to be honest. And on the other side, Jeff Bezos predicts the end of most careers, and only workers with this skill remain valuable. I did the clickbait, and I click on the link. And the skill is people who can invent and people who can generate original ideas rather than just carry out tasks. So, yeah. Humans. And he put an illustration saying, put me in front of a whiteboard and I can generate 100 ideas in half an hour. Like a LLM, I guess, but thank you, Jeff. When we look at how people are using ChatGPT, we have this small square. This is just like we're diving in the topic of data. In 1 year, on simple conversation, OpenAI discovered that people are using ChatGPT to do data analysis. It's 0.4% of people that are doing this. So, yeah, we've been automated. We have the landscape. People are claiming this. But who's we? We are at the data conference, so we might be white-collar workers like Jeff or Sam, my dear San Francisco friends, are saying. Might be consultants, might be software engineers, or maybe software developers, because we have a difference between both. Might be data engineers, might be data analysts, might be data scientists. So if you look on the internet, you're going to find people that are claiming that all these jobs have been automated. What is this automation everyone is talking about? When we look at the tasks that have been automated, it's code writing, documentation and knowledge writing, information retrieval, deep research. It's even more than just information retrieval. It's like looping around and looking for data for longer tasks. Analysis, visualizations, translation. And when I say translation, I'm not speaking about English to French. I'm speaking about one SQL engine to another, programming language to another, English to code or stuff like this. Debugging and code fixing, we have companies writing AI agents to debug and fix code. Root cause analysis, insight production and recommendation, summarization, and the list goes on and on. Actually, a lot of stuff that we do can be automated. Has it been fully automated? It's yet to know, I guess. But wait, what is this thing that has automated us? This is something that you might have known, might have heard, which is called AI agents. I'm doing just a disclaimer because it's recorded. So if AI is taking the world, this slide is not a joke at you. It's just, yeah, you know. Earlier this year, I was at the DBT Coalesce conference, and a company called Mammoth Growth developed a multi-agent workflow automating this kind of jobs, position, people to do DBT stuff. So they developed 4 agents. One was the orchestrator, the other one was the analyst, the other one was the architect, the other one was the analytics engineers. You can look at the conference, it's super cool. But what really is an AI agent? Actually, it's super simple. It's a while loop on top of token interpretation, and that's all. This is just this. And you can summarize an AI agent to this pseudocode, pseudo-Python code. You have like 3 inputs. If you're not familiar with what is an AI agent, I think this is the moment to understand, and you might have to try to develop yourself an AI agent. So you have 3 inputs. The first one is the prompt. You are an intelligent data analyst because we have to give like real intent to the AI. You give tools. So most of the time, we give 3 kinds of tools. The tools that let the AI search for stuff, tools that let the AI read stuff, tools that let the AI write stuff, and because we are data people, we let also the AI execute SQL, because why not? And also execute destructive SQL if we want. And we have another input, which is the messages, so the user messages and the current conversation. And so this is the 3 input that we have. And we have a while loop that will call an endpoint. So an AI company, it can be Anthropic, OpenAI, Mistral, whatever. And then if the AI answer, please execute this tool, you execute the tool, you append it to the list of messages, and you continue looping until like there is no tool to execute anymore. When we look at this, this is super interesting because this is a pattern that we have been developing for years in the data ecosystem. Because when we were doing software engineering 60 years ago, it was mainly if, else, and while loops. But 20 years ago, we started doing data orchestrator and DAG orchestrator, like Airflow, whatever, all the DAG orchestrator that you might know, which were super deterministic with tasks linked one to each other. And actually, an AI agent is just this, but this time, instead of having like a routing that is predefined, you let the AI decide the predefined routing. And so you let the AI decide which route between the tasks the AI is going to do. So you have an event, you have an LLM that is the main orchestrator that decides how it will join the tasks together, and then it will do its own path to reach a goal. That's what is the promise of an agent. This image or metaphor has been extracted from something called 12-factor agents. So if you are building agents, go read this GitHub repo with 12-factor agents. It's super good, and there are like a lot of good ideas in there. So, Christophe, you're telling me a while loop is taking my job? So if we deep dive a bit, an AI agent is first a model, which can be identified as a brain, and tools, which are like the anchor in the real world. So I put foot ends here, but this is not what we give to an AI agent. It's more like what I said, read, write, and so on. And when we look at the landscape out there, we have 3 kinds of tools, AI agents, AI stuff that exist that we can use as data people to do stuff. The first one are terminal-based. The second one are code editors. We have now in the code editors cloud here. And we have all the stuff that is cloud-based, more asynchronous, that can run in the background. But when you look at this, and when you understand how the landscape is, all these tools are using the same brain. They all use the same models underlying. Most of the time it's cloud, can be OpenAI. And what makes these tools different, different is the tools and the way they engineer the context and the way they engineer the inputs that they give to the AI. And it means that this is something that is super important. When we look at what data people are doing, because we think that we have been automated, we have seen what can automate us, but what data people are doing on a daily basis. I think there are 3 buckets of the stuff that data people are doing, whereas you are data engineers, scientists, or analysts. The first one is the build. You have to write data pipelines at some point. The second one is the run. We are all data firefighters. We are fixing bugs everywhere, all the day, because this is what is data, actually. For instance, someone is asking, oh, last week's revenue is broken. Can you fix it real quick, please? And then we also do explore. And I think on this, what makes a good data team is the explore part. This is what everyone is trying to chase for a year. For a year, we are chasing this rainbow of self-service, because if we have self-service, we're going to be able to concentrate on high value-added tasks. And to do self-service, we were needed to have a data mesh or a semantic layer or all this stuff. And then we were also thinking about having like a hierarchy of need, constructing like a good pyramid, and then ChatGPT arrived in 2022, and we all forget. And everyone in the company wants to chat with data. And that's the new thing we have to face at the moment. Everyone has experienced the ChatGPT experience, where you can just chat with stuff, drop a CSV, ask analysis, and do stuff with data. And so everyone wants to replicate the same experience on the data of the company data. And when I say everyone, I think when it comes to the data team, yeah, it's a good experience. It works. This is something that we have been doing it now. We give like AI agents to data people, and they are able to do crazy stuff, like way faster than before. I think it works also for founders or people that knows the data, because in a company, who's except the data team knows the data best is the founders. They are super good at looking at the metrics every day. They know like all the dashboards. They know all the thing. And so I think chat with data works also with founders, C-level, really power users of data. But when it comes to stakeholders, it's yet to see. And it depends, I guess. I have like a small stupid illustration, but still works. For instance, let's say I have a chat with your data, and I say, can you give me the revenue for 2025? And the AI answers, do you want the global revenue per country? Or do you want the global revenue or per country you operate? Or for the country you're in? I'm in France, and I want to compare the France with the global. So I say France and global. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Do you want taxes included or excluded? I don't know. Give me the one that our team usually give me. Oh, probably tax excluded then. And last question, we have multiple years contract that have been paid 5 years ago. Do you want to count this as revenue? I don't know, just give me a revenue, bro. Okay, but what should we do with the people having coupon? What should I do with the chargebacks? Okay, I'm gonna open Slack and ask data. So this is, it might be like something that exists, but what, as data people, what can we build to make this work? We have some answers, and this is stuff that we have been saying for years. The first one is data modeling. The second one is semantic layer. Both are kind of similar, I would say. But actually, all of this is context engineering. And we are coming to what we should do next year. So what to do in 2026? Context. And when I say context is, as a data team, we should try to build context and serialize the context of what is data. And as data professionals, we should do context engineering. So as a reminder, LLM is just a box where you put data in and you get data out. It's a while loop with a few inputs. And so you should build the best context layer of your business. What enters in the context? The first one is the data models or the data assets. The second one is the documentation. The third one is the lineage and orchestration. Then the meetings, because there is something that I've seen in all companies, like data analysts are doing a lot of meetings with their stakeholders. There is a lot of knowledge that is shared in these meetings, where this knowledge is going. You have to share like the KPIs in a form of hierarchy with a tree or without, I don't care. You can share like visualization. You built a lot of visualization in your BI tools, so this is kind of context. And the funny thing is, there are a lot of data catalogs that was hype years ago, and most of them rebranding in the missing context layer for data in AI. This is the landing page of Atlan, which was a data catalog company that rebranding in the context company. What is a context? This is maybe my most technical slide. This is just a reminder of what is the context when it comes to the AI agent. So you have a context window, which is the thing that you send to an agent. The context window is hierarchized this way. So you put the tools, the system prompt, the memory, the user rules, then you have the current conversation, and you keep space for the generated outputs. There is stuff that you have to think about. When I do I will not read it, but when I do the parallels, all these context engineering techniques that you have to do are similar to what data engineers were doing when optimizing a data model. This is stuff that you need to know. There are like a lot of techniques that you have to implement. And when you do like large conversation, you're gonna explode the context length, so you're gonna need to do compaction, summarization, and stuff like this. And finally, on the context, this is like three things that are super important about context, which is what's about context. The first one is incorrect information. The second one is when you miss information. And the last one is too much noise information. And when we do data stuff, it's tempting to execute a SQL query, put everything in the context, and just say, yeah, AI gonna do stuff. But try to send like 1,000 lines of a table twice or 4 times in the context and ask the AI to do stuff. Not really gonna work. It's like way too much information and noise. I think that data names have been a translating layer between business language, and data for years. Now we have, as data people, to find a way to let AI have access to this translating layer that we wear as people. If we believe in AI, but strong hypothesis. There is a talk that I really like about that is called Data Culture as a Product at Data Council. And the sentence is like, companies are decision factories. A company is taking a lot of decision. You have to find a way to embed this decision, put it in text to make it accessible to the LLM, so the LLM can do stuff. What's the conclusion in this? The metrics have never been who's the people that are writing the most code or the most DBT model. This is like not, it's a vanity metric. And so, LLM that are doing like code writing super fast are good, but this is just a new tool in the toolbox that happens to make us way faster at what we do. So what we have to do is learn to use it, and we have to shine by doing tasks that are like more added value. I think you should also try to write your own agents, because it teaches you a lot about what is an agent, what is AI today. And the last thing is, I think you should use Nao, but for this you can come to the booth. Last thing, just to open, this is 2 things that are unrelated to data. On the left for you, you have Benedict Cumberbatch, an actor, that did Ask Me Anything on Reddit. And someone said, how do you feel about adopting AI in the film industry? And he said, I'm pretty depressed, to be honest. We are giving up on what makes us human, which are our fallibility, our mess, and our inaccuracy, and we lack of creative thinking. And on the right, there is a good video from Kazi Nestat about AI in the creative industry, like YouTube and so on, about AI slop and so on. And I recommend you to watch it because this is really good. But in the end, Just Data is about creativity. And the best data analysts that I know are the people that are the most creative. And when I say creative, it's like deep diving in the stuff. And I think this is the thing that makes us human, and that we need to carry on the future. Like AI will not be able to do it. And tomorrow we're gonna do a launch on Product Hunt with Nao. So if you have a Product Hunt account, come to the booth. We're gonna send you an email tomorrow so you can about us, please. And that's all for me, and I'm open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Christophe.